dukkha pattaca nidukkha, bhaya pattaca nibbhaya, soka pattaca nisoka, hontu sabbe pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. With this metta thought, once again, let us try to focus our mind on the Dhamma that we are going to explain from Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the great discourse on the four establishment of mindfulness. We started sitting posture. There we said we must sit upright, ujjunkayam panidhaya. Ujjunkaya means straight, upright. This is also important for our meditation practice. If you slouch, bend down, it is quite possible that you fall asleep. And then we noticed many people sit slouching, bending their heads down, and soon they would be nodding. Sometimes we ring the bell after 1 hour. They keep nodding, sleeping, just like a tree hit by a storm, bending down and straightening, bending down and straightening, up and down, up and down. And when they ring the bell, they say, I had a very good deep meditation. I even have attained the jhanas. That is sleeping jhana, not meditation jhana. During that time, they don't know anything. Of course, when you are in deep sleep, what would you know? You don't know anything. Not knowing anything during that time, they attribute to jhana. You can do that your entire life without gaining one iota of wisdom, insight, no results of meditation. You simply succumb to your sleepiness and drowsiness, one of the very strong hindrance. We will discuss these things later on. I want to mention this at the very beginning for all our meditators to remain alert, awake. They must keep the body straight. When the body is straight, when they fall, they immediately jerks and then they wake up. If they already are slouched, bend their head down, nothing would there be to jerk them. And therefore they have a very comfortable sleep. Friends, these instructions are given by the fully enlightened Buddha, who have gone through all these hindrances, impediments to the success of meditation. Therefore, if we all are very serious in meditation, sit straight, upright, Even for 10 minutes you meditate straight up, sitting upright, relax, you can see some results because you are alert, awake, and can be mindful. And for this reason, I emphasize very strongly that we sit in an upright position. We said when you sit in the cross-legged posture, if you cannot do that, you sit even in a chair. When you sit on a chair, make sure that your body is upright. Don't lean against the back support. When you lean against the back support, again you are liable to sleepiness. Very easy for you to fall asleep. Don't make it additionally comfortable to fall asleep. We will discuss this hindrance later on in that particular section. So with these preliminaries, and Buddha suggested us to breathe in and breathe out as we do in everyday our short meditation time. So then he said, Dighang va asasantu dighang asasamiti pajanati. The meditator knows or understands when that person, monk, nun, man, woman, anybody who breathes in and out, understands if the breath is long, that person understands I breathe in long, breathe in long. I suggest that you do not use the word I breathe. If you say I breathe, I breathe, I breathe, you again promote your notion of I. The meditation, one of the 5 purposes is to fall on the track of right path, nyayasa adhigamaya, and abhijja domana sang, intense greed and disappointment in order to overcome, and nibbana satchikiriyaya for the realization of nibbana. When you keep promoting I, it is possible for you to promote greed, I consciousness, self, soul. Then you are going far away from the realization of Nibbana. You cannot realize Nibbana when you keep thinking in terms of I, I, I. And therefore, when the long breath comes in, or when inhaling is long, don't say in words, I breathe in long. Buddha says, the person understands long breath as long breath. In order to express the meaning, the sentence is used. Of course, we have to use sentences to express a meaning of what we want to say. Only for this purpose, I breathe long in this sentence. I is used only for this purpose, in order to express that you are breathing, taking long inhaling. But when you do it, you don't try to express it to anybody. You are not telling somebody, I breathe long. I breathe in long. You are not telling anybody, expressing anybody, and for this reason, every day I said, don't verbalize, don't conceptualize. You just let the breath flow in and out and pay attention to breath in and out. Here, when you pay attention to the breath, simply let the attention be there. Don't say, I pay attention, I pay attention, I pay attention. Don't say that. Let the attention flow with inhaling. I mention these things and want to emphasize for our meditators to understand how we can quickly grow in meditation. How can we quickly fall into the track of right mindfulness? For this reason, I want to repeat that we should not use the word I breathe in, I pay attention, I am mindful, and so on. Let this drop this I, my, mine out. Drop it out. Leave it alone. Don't use it. Get rid of it. And simply let the attention be there. Pay attention to the breath. Long inhaling, Buddha said, Digang wa. Wa means alternative, indeclinable, variables. Now, for to use variability of the breath, the va is used. That means or, digang va. When the person is breathing in long or short. In digang va asasanto, while breathing, taking long breath, the person becomes aware of the long breath. If it is inhaling, the person becomes aware of long inhaling. Of course, when we take a long inhaling, exhale also is long. And then when the exhaling is long, we become fully aware of long exhaling. Long exhaling. Probably you might think that at the beginning you must take long inhaling, long exhaling. It probably helps people to focus the mind if they take few long inhaling, long exhaling at the very beginning. So you take few deep breaths at the beginning, 3, 4, 5 times, long breath, inhaling and exhaling. And then knowing, being aware of this long inhaling, we inhale, becoming aware of long exhaling, we breathe. And then sometimes your breath becomes short. That does not mean you have a short of breath. Short of breath is not very healthy. But if the breath naturally becomes short, it is healthy. Generally, when we breathe in, after taking 3, 4, 5 long inhaling and exhaling, our breath comes to normal breathing. That normal breathing is not long, it is just natural breath. It is not very long, and therefore it is called, when one takes short inhaling, one becomes aware of short inhaling. That doesn't mean that you deliberately make your breath short. When you breathe out short, of course, short inhaling, when it comes out also short. Short inhaling as short inhaling. Short exhaling as short exhaling. I emphasize again, we are trying to become aware of the breath exactly as it goes in and out. We, I said, don't try to manipulate breath, control breath, hold breath, but let the breath become short by itself, long by itself. After few normal breath, our lungs may get tired. Then we take long inhaling. We don't do it deliberately. Our lungs dictates the length. When the lungs get tired, this is very natural automatic things. When the lungs get tired, lungs need a rest. So lungs triggers an intention to take a long inhaling and then breathe out long. So this alters. We breathe normally, and then when lungs get tired, we take long inhaling and long exhaling and become aware of that. And then we mention, this is not mentioned in the discourse, from you see in your practice. Discourse does not say the beginning, middle, end, and the pause. Discourse does not say. But in your practice, if you totally pay attention to your breath without using words I and so on, you notice breath touching the nostrils, touching the nostrils. And then breath continues to flow into our lungs through the nostrils. We prefer breathing through the nose rather than opening mouth and breathe in or out. Some people, when they are due to mucus blockade, sinus problems, and so on, some people have little discomfort in breathing through the nose. And yet they try to breathe through the nose, because when they breathe through the mouth gets dry very quickly. When the mouth is dry, you feel thirsty, and then your mind will no longer be in the meditation. You want to have a drink of water. And also, mouth does not have hair to filter uh, uh, harmful particles in the air, like dust and so on. So the mouth is not made for inhaling or exhaling, except occasionally when we go to doctor asks you to take a deep breath. That time you may use the mouth to take a deep breath while he's holding his stethoscope to check our lungs. Occasionally, like these exceptional situations, we may breathe through the mouth. Otherwise, for meditation, in meditation, we must breathe only through the nose so that air will be filtered when it goes through the passage of nostrils. There are special hair built in naturally to filter little insects going into the lungs, dust and other particles, the harmful particles going into the lungs, because lungs must be kept very clean and pure of all these things. For many reasons, we breathe, healthy reasons, hygienic reasons, we breathe through the nose. And as the breath goes, all these are not mentioned in the discourse, but in commentaries we can see how they explain the way how we use the breath and nose to breathe. Nose also is considered to be the gate. Gate, mindfulness is like a gatekeeper. When we breathe in and out, the gatekeeper, suppose we just imagine that there is a gate for a very important place, properties, houses, and so on. Then there is a very skillful gatekeeper. This skillful gatekeeper knows who to let in and who to not let in. That is well trained gatekeeper. Similarly, when the unmindful state arises while breathing in, the gatekeeper does not let that unmindful state arise. And also the breath, when it comes in, the gatekeeper becomes aware of this breath. When the breath goes into our lungs, as lungs are expanding, our lower abdomen expands and chest area expands. And then when we breathe out, lower abdomen contracts, lung area contract, and we feel the breath leaving our nostrils. Noticing all this, we breathe in and breathe out, primarily becoming aware of the length of breath at this time, only the length of breath, long or short. I mention all these minute details for beginners. I'm sure many of you are advanced meditators. Among you, there may be some who are not very highly advanced. They may be beginners. It is not too redundant, repetitive for advanced people. It is good for them also to know these details when they practice meditation. So, these are the two pairs. One pair is long inhaling, long exhaling. Other pair is short inhaling, short exhaling. These are happening naturally. And the third pair is experiencing the whole body. I will breathe in. When one breathes in, don't say I breathe in knowing whole breath body. Don't say knowing, but become aware of the whole breath body. We said at the very beginning, be mindful of the body in the body. Be mindful of the body in the body. In this body, the breath is one body. I remember saying that in this body, there are, I recently came to know, there are 50 trillion bodies. 50 trillion. They are called neurons. Cells. 50 trillion. I don't know how long one take to count 1 trillion. That many cells are in this body. And they all are bodies. In other words, there are 50 trillion bodies. Now we talk about the breath body. In this breath body, we must know the entire breath body. What is the entire breath body? The beginning, middle, and end. Beginning is from the time we notice the breath touching our nostrils. It goes into the lungs and fills the lungs up and comes out, and then that is then we feel the beginning at the nostrils. End is the end of that also we notice at the end of our tip of our nostrils. That is the end. In between this beginning and end, there is another long stretch of breath. That means beginning at the nostrils, ending at the nostrils, and in between the breath, air. And that is called entire breath body. So in that awareness, nothing is left out. We are aware of the beginning of or at the very first touch of breath. When we breathe in, we become aware of the very last touch of the breath when we exhale. In between this beginning and end, there is the breath. And all this knowing, becoming aware of all these 3 points, the beginning point, ending point, and in between the breath. Knowing this entire thing is called breath body. Knowing entire breath body. That happens when we breathe in and breathe out. That is the third pair. Last pair is even more important. I can mention it very quickly now. That is, Pali says, Passam bhayam kaya sankarang assasisami iti sikkati. Passam bhayam kaya sankarang passasisami iti sikkati. Passam bhaya means relaxing, calming, tranquilling. Meaning the body conditioner. Body conditioner. Kaya Sankara means body conditioner. We mentioned at some point in our dependent origination discourse, Kaya Sankara means inhaling and exhaling. Body conditioner. Why it is called body conditioner? It conditions this body by bringing oxygen into the body. Every 50 trillion cell needs oxygen, and this oxygen comes with our breath, air, and therefore the breath is called body conditioner. And this body conditioner, the breath becomes calm, relaxed, and peaceful when we breathe in and out without agitating our mind with words, without exciting our mind with concept, without activating our mind with theories, ideas. Leave all of them out and simply pay total, undivided, pure, clean attention to the breath. Then we will see how the breath body becomes very calm, relaxed, and peaceful. And knowing this, experiencing this, we breathe in and breathe out. We don't say tranquilizing, I want to tranquilize my body, breath, body, and so forth. We don't do it deliberately. What we do deliberately is not bringing words, ideas, concepts, theories, I notions, and so forth. These are the things we do not bring into the mind deliberately. What we do deliberately is paying pure, simple, undivided attention to the breath. Now, friends, this is the first part of the breathing or mindfulness of breath in Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Now, breathing is used for meditation in breathing alone, is used in for meditation in Anapanasati Sutta. Anapanasati Sutta is very profound discourse, very good for advanced meditators. But Mahasatipatthana Sutta is given for everybody, and therefore there are details. We will discuss these details as we go along with these talks. And tomorrow and Tuesday we take off, and Wednesday we start our class again. Uh, Perhaps Wednesday you may come up with questions. Uh, we have covered enough material for you to form questions. There may be many doubts in your mind, unclear areas. Please make sure that don't spend time to write me letters thanking me. I'm sure that you are thankful to me, that you don't have to express it, but spend that time to think of good questions. When I answer them, you can improve your knowledge and meditation practice. With this, I want to conclude this morning session and want to conclude sharing metta once again, as I repeated every